What's up, everybody? This is a hands-on tour of the all-new 2026 RAV4. So this is the GR Sport. It's also the Limited there, and also the Woodland over there, which I'll show in a minute. But GR Sport's the one I want to start with because I know many of you are enthusiasts that watch this channel, and it's really cool, especially now we have it out here in the daylight. I did do a full video whenever it was first revealed with all the specs, all the info we know so far. I'll link that at the end of this one. This is more so just a hands-on look and tour of how this actually looks up close and how the sizing is and all that. And here's the unique wheels for the GR Sport. I like the red brake calipers there too. I don't believe brakes are any bigger, but again, I don't think we have all the info on that just yet. I believe it's mostly just suspension tuning for these and extra rigidity, I think they said. But looks really great with the two-tone combo here, Supersonic Red, which I believe is a color exclusive to the GR Sport version, and something we saw introduced with the RAV4 Prime, which is no more. But again, this is also plug-in hybrid, and plug-in hybrid exclusively here for the GR Sport version. All the other versions of the RAV4, a lot of them are either hybrid or plug-in hybrid, or the option for both, but this is only plug-in hybrid here. They also detailed the various ports that you have here, so it's a little different depending on which one you get. So for the GR Sport here, they're going to be getting, again, the plug-in hybrid is 320 horsepower now, about 50 miles of electric range, just as a highlight specs here. And so yeah, for the XSE plug-in hybrid Woodland, you'll have a CCS port, and you can do DC fast charging. Unfortunately for the GR Sport here, you don't get that ability. You just have the J1772 port, and also not the Tesla NACS port, surprisingly, on these, even though again this is coming out here later this year and a lot of companies have started to switch over to that port. Not the case here for this, but again, if you're wired up and you have a RAV4 Prime or another CCS vehicle currently, there's no change here or no adapter needed. You can still plug it in just like normal. You do also have an up to 11 kilowatt onboard AC charger now, so it will charge a little faster as well. But let's hop inside here and get a actual hands-on look here at the new RAV4. So nice large pocket there in the door with a bottle holder, nice and chunky space here, and that also goes pretty far back. I don't know if the lighting is good enough to see that, but this, I can fit my whole hand in this, and this doesn't go through to the other side, so that is blocked off. So that's actually a fun little bonus storage space, because you don't need the whole thing to have as a grab handle. So that's actually pretty cool. Usual Toyota switchgear here. That looks like it's mostly carryover here as far as a lot of that stuff goes. And then there is the new interior. Lots of new stuff here. GR Sport also gives you the sportier seats here, which have Alcantara with the little red dots kind of poking through it there. And I love the red piping and all that. Very, very nice. And you also get the GR logo there on the bottom of the steering wheel here. And let's hop inside here. So again, I don't believe we're able to turn on the screens, yeah. So, but, again, we have the 12.3-inch digital gauges there. No hood on this. That's something I've been seeing early discussions about. We will see how glare does. Doesn't seem too bad currently, but again, we will see. It does have a slight angle to it. So we'll just have to see in the real world when these are out driving. But this is the bigger 12.9-inch touchscreen. I'll show the smaller screen in the Woodland, which doesn't get the big screen, which is kind of an interesting thing. You can't get a fully loaded Woodland, but anyway, you get the fully loaded, interior here in the GR Sport at least, and nice volume knob, has a little notchiness to it, and just buttons there to go up and down with climate. But everything else is going to be screen based, and we're seeing other stuff like the BZ for 2026 gets the Lexus infotainment system with knobs on the screen for the climate. We don't have that here in this, unfortunately, but so it should be fine, I think, for most people, though, and at least we do have some physical buttons here. And climate is one of those things usually you're just kind of setting it and forgetting it, so we'll again have to just see how that works out in the real world. But otherwise, drive mode buttons and hybrid button right there front and center, and your other drive modes over here. And I also like this is at an angle. I don't know if that comes across on video or not, but this goes downward, and so that should help with keeping your phone in place. Unfortunately, though, Toyota does not do good wireless charging pads, unfortunately. Sorry to say, but this is smooth. It's not rubberized, and competing vehicles like, for example, Hyundai, they have a really nice rubberized pad that holds your phone in place, so you can actually do reliable wireless charging. This might not work the best. again, I'll have to wait until I drive it and get this thing in motion to see how much my phone slides around there. But this is all smooth, and this needs to all be rubberized, I think, personally. But, you know, again, at least the angle might help a little bit. And interestingly, we don't have another one on the other side. Maybe that's something that'll come down the road, but we see that on BZ and others where we have dual wireless charging pads, but unfortunately not on here. But, you know, nice USB-C jacks and, you know, quick access button there for your cameras. And another nice bin under here. And this one has a little more texture to it, but this also, it might look rubberized, but that is also pretty smooth plastic there. But again, very large, man. I'm fitting my whole hand, you know, in there. So a lot of nice storage spaces. We also have this other bonus space up here that is also, again, like whole hand size for that one, so that's great. You know, nice large cup holders here, really chunky shifter, a little chunkier I think than prior RAV4, so that's cool. And you also have this center armrest that has another spot here. I saw that you could flip this around potentially, I think, and have this extra space if you'd like. But I think this also, yeah, opens up both sides. So, you know, if you want a passenger to have easy access to that, they can pop it up on their side or on your side here. And a good amount of space in here as well. Looks like we got another USB-C jack in here and a regular power outlet down there as well in the dark. And so really good as far as that goes. Another surprising thing though is, I don't know if it's just this one or what, but there's no moonroof whatsoever. I'm not sure if that's an idea they had for the GR Sport to keep the center of gravity lower, or just, you know, this prototype's build. We don't have all the details as far as option packages and what's available and what's not just yet. So we'll have to wait for more info on that. But just one other interesting observation here. But let's hop in the back seat here, see what the space is like. So we have, I'd say, about the same amount of space. You know, like I mentioned in my first video on this vehicle, you know, it's dimensionally the same. The only changes dimensionally are for GR Sport and Woodland, which has slightly larger lengths and widths just because of the bodywork being like an inch longer and wider. But, you know, still acceptable amount of space for this class, but again, not best in class. You know, I think Toyota, again, is the top seller in the segment. The old RAV4 is still selling phenomenally well, so I don't think there's much pressure to change this, but I do wonder with next generation versions of all the competitors coming out in the next couple of years, you know, how this is going to fare in the long run. But for now, again, an acceptable amount of space, I think, still. And, you know, more USB-C jacks here and air vents. And it doesn't look like there's any heated seats here for the GR Sport. I believe you can get heated rear seats in Limited, if I remember correctly. Well, again, we'll have to wait, again, for all the details on that. We still have nice center armrests with cup holders put into it. And, yeah, just a good amount of space. There's another look at the front from the back here. Nice, good amount of space. I also like those metal pedals you see here for this version, of course, exclusive to the GR Sport there. And now let's check out the cargo area here and see what that's like. All right, so I don't know, maybe it's just my foggy memory, but I feel like this is a little bit better than last gen RAV4. I could be wrong there. This does seem to me a little wider towards the edges here. Let me see, beneath the floor we do have a spare tire, which is also very nice because that's something that's getting more and more rare. And especially even on the GR Sport, I thought maybe that'd be something they'd ditch, but we still have a spare, which is great. Nice large spare too. And good amount of space back there. But let's go over and check out the Woodland now. And here is the Woodland version, which again gets those rigid industry lights built in, and the much bolder front grille on this one, totally different than the other RAV styling, and it looks really nice. You got the little faux skid plate there, the all-terrain tires, which are actually like pretty decent beefy all-terrain tires. Some other vehicles, you know, it's just like a nice sidewall. This actually looks like it's got some proper tread on it here, which is great. Dunlops here, and got the raised roof rails here on these ones, and nice little graphic on it there. Crossbars are available here as well. And again, out back here, you also get the tow hitch here, or, you know, a little accessory hitch as standard, which is cool. And again, more rugged there for the rear bumper. And this one is the hybrid here. There is, of course, the plug-in hybrid again available for these as well. And on the inside here, you have again the orange accents, which are really cool, and you know, a little more of a rugged vibe with the seats here. Still very nice, soft, you know, Softex materials here, and feels great. But cool texture to those, and all the little details are really nice. The piping and all that. This one just has a regular moonroof. I believe there's also a panoramic roof available as well. But looks really great here for all the little accents here for the Woodland. But you know, it's also interesting, the Woodland doesn't get the largest screen, so this is what the smaller screen looks like here. I'm not able to turn all of these on, but you know, that's you know, still a really nice screen though, honestly. Still has all the same buttons and knobs and stuff like you see on the others. Still should be the same software, just a little smaller. And you know, I think for a lot of people, you know, having a 10.5-inch screen is going to be enough. You don't have to go up to the 12.9 or whatever it is, you know. So this is going to be really great. You can see also the driver monitoring sensor there, and the you know, buttons there to turn all that stuff on. And lastly, let's check out the Limited here. So this is the more ordinary styling. Still has some rugged looks to it though, you know, a little bit of a faux kind of skid plate look there. Really nice grille there though, and a little bit more of that hammerhead kind of design, unlike the Woodland, you know. But still, you know, nice wheels. And you know, I think this one obviously is going to be the one that, you know, stands out the least compared to, again, those more you know, expressive trims, but still is really nice. You know, I really like this new crease we have here that, you know, goes up towards the, I think this is also larger glass here for this quarter window too, so maybe a little bit better visibility than last gen. We'll have to see. But you know, a little more chiseled there too for the doors and everything. I do really love these taillights. Just so cool. I love, you know, just the little individual lights there. Just looks a little more complex and just very, very cool here. This is also another regular hybrid. And you know, as far as the interior, again, basically the same as the GR Sport there, although this one does have the little shifter. So that's one of the other changes. They said some of the trims do get this new little shifter here versus, again, the chunkier one you saw in the GR Sport there and in the Woodland. But and this one, see, does have the dual wireless charging pad. So I guess that's something Limited gets, but GR Sport doesn't, which is strange because I thought GR Sport would be one of the top ones there. But you know, it'd be interesting again to see how they break out all the trims and how everything kind of works out as far as hierarchy for these. Yeah, still very nice interior in these. You got the perforated leather, and even does still have, you know, a little bit of Alcantara there and little accent stripe. And this one also does have panoramic roof. So there are, again, no roof available, or the smaller moonroof of the Woodland, and then this pano roof here on the Limited. So very nice though. Yeah, otherwise, you know, a lot of the other stuff's the same. You know, memory seat controls over here, and yeah, so anyway, that's about all there is on the new RAV4. Again, definitely check out the first look video for all the specs on these. That video will give you all the info you need to know. This is just kind of, again, giving you a hands-on look here at these. But anyway, that's all of my thoughts here on the 2026 RAV4. I think it's going to be a great improvement whenever these come later this year, they say. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Let me know which one you'd pick in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.